Good afternoon. Magandang hapon sa lahat. So once again, this is Dr. Cortez. Welcome sa aking sharing about obligation and contract. Once again, I'm not trying to teach you about obligation and contract because I'm not a lawyer. But I want to share yung mga readings ko about obligation and contract. So sa review lang last meeting, hoping that you can see my presentation. So review lang sa ating last lecture, lesson 5, we started about the modes of distinguishing obligation, yung bang paano mapapawalang bisa ang isang obligation. So last meeting we started maraming ways how to distinguish ang isang obligation. Last meeting we discussed yung we can distinguish obligation by payment or performance of the obligation, loss of the things due pag nawala yung prestation or yung object subject ng obligation. So papawalang bisa ang isang obligation. And ngayon naman we're going to talk about the third type of distinguishing the obligation. In fact, today we're going to know yung condonation, remission, confusion, or merger as type of extinguishing yung mga obligation natin. Okay, so yung tinatawag nating condonation, from the word condone, no? Parang ayaw nang kolektahin, ayaw na ng creditor na kolektahin or ayaw na ng performance ng isang obligation, kaya kinokondone. Kaya pag sinabing condonation ng isang building, so anong mangyari pag may condonation, parang pinapatigil na, di ba, yung pag-operate ng isang building. So may forms of condonation ng isang obligation. So, ang mangyari diyan pag may consignation na obligation. Pag sinabing consignation, example, ayaw na nung creditor na tanggapin yung obligation, yung performance or yung payment. So, mapapawalang bisa obligation. So, sa ating slide dito, we have instances when consignation shall produce the effects without prior tender. Ayan. Papawalang bisa ang isang obligation pag meron tayong consignation. Pag sinabing consignation, example, ayaw na ng creditor tanggapin yung payment or performance. Kaya ikaw naman gusto mo pa. So, nagagawin mo, i-deposit mo sa court or sa designated place yung prestation or yung object ng obligation. At pag na-consign mo na yon sa korte or any other places, it means that your obligation will now be extinguished. Yan ang consignation. Dine-deposit mo sa korte yung object. Sabi mo, korte, itong payment ko or itong object, i-deposit ko na sa'yo kasi ayaw tanggapin ng creditor. Right? That is consignation. Now, what are the instances when consignation shall produce the effects of extinguishing the obligation? May mga elements na. Paano masasabing pag di-deposit mo, pag kinonsign mo yung prestation, automatically extinguish yung obligation. So number 1, pag yung creditor is absent or unknown or does not appear at the place of payment. Example, nagkausap pa, di ba? Sa lugar na to, sa oras na to, tapos wala siya. O hindi mo sa kilala. O hindi siya nagpakita doon sa lugar. Okay? So absence need not be judicially declared. Ibig sabihin yan, korte, naman dumating yung aking kausap ng creditor, hindi siya nagpakita. So itong prestation, itong object, i-deposit lang sa inyo. O that is consignation, hindi siya nagpakita. Or yung pangalawa, pag yung creditor is incapacitated to receive the payment at the same time, it is due. Example, yung creditor, nag-authorize na isang tao, ikaw, ito, puntahan mo to, itong may kausap ka dito. Yung creditor nag-authorize. Tapos yun nakikitain mo. Kaya lang yung kanyang unauthorized na person. Example, incapacitated. Example, nakainom, tapos siguro mentally incapacitated, or bata pa siya, parang hindi pa siya capable to accept the payment. Ayan, to receive the payment at the time it is due. So, pwede mo siyang gawing consignment o korte. Itong payment ko sa yung nade-deposit. Kasi yung tatanggap, nakikita ko parang hindi siya capable eh. Right? So, there is consignation ang pwede mong gawin. And ano ba mga elements na pwede mong i-consign sa korte yung payment just in case na hindi nag-appear or wala o hindi nagpakita yung kausap mo na creditor. So, dapat yung obligation dapat valid. Talagang meron kang obligation na to deliver something or to perform something. Okay? Pwede mo siya i-consign. Or pag meron talagang nag-offer ka talaga ng payment, tapos wala yung creditor, pwede mo i-consign sa yan, sa korte. Yan ang mga some of the elements. Tapos meron ding notification, the debtor must notify the creditor of the consignation. Ibig sabihin, pag wala yung creditor, sabi mo, di-deposit mo lang sa korte, o dapat mo pa rin i-notify yung creditor na, o creditor, wala ka dun sa pinag-usapan natin. Itong prestation ay i-deposit ko na sa korte. O that is consignation. Okay? And dapat, pag na-deposit mo sa korte, pag na-consign mo na yun, dapat yung debtor, or ikaw or obligor, ay dapat ma-release na dun sa kanyang performance or sa kanyang obligation. Yan ay yung mga elements natin pag mayroon tayong ginawang consignation. Okay, so moving on sa ating one. Yung pangatlong reason kung kailan natin pwedeng i-consign yung payment or prestation sa korte. Number 3, when there is a unjust cause. Pag yung creditor nag-refuse to give a receipt. Example, babayad ka, di ba? Yung may pinag-utangan mo ay magbigay ng resibo. Ikailangan mo yung resibo. So, ang gagawin mo, pag ayaw magbigay ng resibo, i-consign mo yan sa korte o court. Example, RTC, no? Regional Trial Court or Municipal Court. Itong creditor ay mag-issue sa akin ng resibo. Ikailangan yung resibo, so ang gagawin ko, sa inyo ko na lang to consign yung payment and para ma-extinguish yung aking obligation. So that is number 3 cause. Yung mga 4 na cause ng consignation. When 2 or more persons claim the right to collect. Kaya may hirapan ka dyan. Dalawang naniningil sa'yo. Hindi mo alam kung sino. And just in the case of interpleader, pag sabi interpleader, may 2 tao na nag-claim dun sa prestation. Example, sa lupa, no? Sa bayaran ng lupa. Bumili ka ng lupa, tapos ikaw magbabayad ng lupa. Yan ang nangyayari kasi mayroon palang 2 tao na may conflict ng ownership dun sa lupa na binili mo. Yung 2 ang naninigil sa ngayon. That is interpleader example. So, ikaw you're confused, no? Kanina ko ba magbabayad? Okay? So, para ma-extinguish or ma-release ka sa obligation, consignation ang iyong gagawin. O, korte. 2 tao dito, nag-claim ng payment ko. Hindi sila magkasundo kung sila may-ari ng lupa. So, ang gagawin ko, i-consign ko lang sa iyo yung aking payment para ma-release ako sa obligation. Din bahala na sila kung sino yung talagang totoong may-ari ng lupa at totoong entitled sa aking payment. Yan. And the number 5 cause ng consignation when the title of the obligation has been yung title. So, pwede mo siya i-consign sa korte. And in number 6, pag yung creditor ay ayaw tanggapin yung binabayad mo for any other reason, maybe has her own reason. Pero ikaw, saan ka magbabayad ngayon? Ayaw matanggapin ng creditor. Sa korte mo siya ibabayad. Para masabing consignation. Then pag nagbayad sa korte, dapat ikaw ay ma-release na sa iyong obligation. Kasi pag nag-consignation, as if that is a payment na rin. Hindi nga lang tinanggap ng ano, hindi na nga tinanggap ng creditor yung payment mo. Ayan, no? Yung mga reason, pag absent yung ano, or absent yung creditor, pag wala sa pinag-usapan nyo, pag incapacitated siya, pag hindi siya magbigay ng resibo, ayan, pag maraming tao yung mag-claim ng payment mo, maraming kukolekta sa'yo, hindi mo alam kung sino. May mga instances that you can have a remedy of consignation. And note lang guys, no, itong anim na to, these are not exclusive. Marami pang reason. But these 6 are the most popular reason kung kailan mag-consign. So, pwede pa tayo magdagdag dyan. No? As mga kaso kasi na, na may mga kanya-kanyang reason bakit i-consign natin. So, this list is not exclusive. Sabihin, hindi sila comprehensive. May pwedeng may kulang pa dyan or pwedeng mayroon pa tayong idagdag sa ating listahan. Okay, and before I continue, pwede pa pa-request guys sa mga hindi pa nag-subscribe sa aking channel, paki-share na rin yung aking channel. And thank you in advance, people. Okay, so let's move on sa next slide natin. Loss of the thing due. So ito yung pangalawa, no? Pangalawa nating reason pag nawala yung prestation or yung things that is due to be delivered, the obligation is extinguished. Right? So effects of loss indeterminate obligation to give. Obligation is extinguished if the thing is lost or destroyed without the fault of the debtor and before he has incurred in delay. So wala kang liability pag ganun. May mga tinatawag na mga fortuitous event eh. Pag sa fortuitous event, ito yung mga events na acts of nature na naka-apekto sa iyong obligation to perform or to give. Example, meron kang i-deliver na na sasakyan. Obligation ka to deliver a car. Right? Kaya lang, nagkaroon ng baha. Tapos inanod yung sasakyan, no? Or nagka-landslide. Yung sasakyan nawasak. Those are fortuitous event. So pag ganun nangyari, destroyed yung prestation or the things to be delivered, you don't have a liability. It will extinguish yung obligation. Okay? Kasi pag sa mga fortuitous event, and you are not at fault. Pag sinabing at fault, ginawa mo lahat ng due diligent, no? Para maiwasan yon, pero binaha pa rin, inanod pa rin, nabagsakan pa rin ng mga boulders in a landslide or na tidal wave, na tsunami, no? Wala kang fault talaga doon. So ikaw ay you don't have a liability to deliver the things anymore. Na kahit may pinag-usapan kayong araw na to, so hindi ka at fault kasi fortuitous event or acts of nature. Basta basta ginawa yung due diligence ng good father with family. Okay? Kaya lang, pag ikaw ay in delay, liable ka dyan. Example, ang delivery ng sasakyan is today is October 4. Okay? Yung sasakyan di-deliver mo ngayon, October 4, alas 7 ng gabi. Oras na ba? Alas 7 ng gabi, de-deliver. Mas bago mag alas 7, nagka-landslide, inanod yung sasakyan. So hindi ka liable. Kasi on the right time, pag-deliver mo, eksakto, nagkaroon ng flooding. So, fortuitous event. Okay? Pwera lang, no? Example, ang delivery ng sasakyan o ng car ngayong araw na to. Okay? Tapos hindi mo siya i-deliver. So delay ka na isang araw. Tapos kinabukasan, nagkabaha. Inalog yung sasakyan. Hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin, ay inalog yung sasakyan eh. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Meron ka pa rin liability. Bakit? Kasi in delay ka na. Kinabukasan mo dineliver eh. Dapat ngayon. So, hindi mo na pwedeng gamitin excuse. yung fortuitous event. Ayan. So, in that case, pag may delayed ka na sa delivery, meron ka ng liability. Okay? So next slide tayo. So, loss of indeterminate things due to fortuitous events shall extinguish the obligation. Pag sabing determinate thing, ito eksaktong very specific na prestation or object ang determinate So, pag nawala yun, extinguish yung obligation. Okay? So, example, nag-deliver ka ng kotse, plate number ganito, kulay pula. Very specific. Very determinate yung yung i-deliver mo. Very specific na kotse. Pag nawala yun, inanod na landslide, na tsunami, nabagsak ka ng asteroid, it will extinguish the obligation mo. Kasi kahit anong gawin, wala na Right? Pero mayroon may exception. Pag sa exception, liable ka pa rin kahit fortuitous event ang nangyari. Example number 1, when the law provides. So pag sinabing ng batas na kahit determinate things yan, tapos fortuitous event, liable ka pa rin. Kasi sinabi ng batas Okay? Or number 2, pag pinag-usapan yung dalawa. Example, pag di-deliver ka ng kotse, sabi ng kausap mo, so kahit bahain yan liable ka pa rin pag-usapan natin. O sige, pumayag ka o nagkapirmahan. So may stipulation sa kontrata. Pag sabi stipulation, na just in case na nagkaroon ng fortuitous event, liable pa rin yung obligor or yung debtor. Ayan, kasi may pinag-usapan. Or naka-specify sa kontrata. Number 3, kahit fortuitous event, liable ka pa rin. Kasi exception number 3. Pag sinabi ng obligation na yung debtor mag-assume ng risk just in case na nawala. Okay? Assumption pa yung risk sa pa rin mag-shoulder. So, liable pa rin siya dun sa creditor natin. Or number 4, loss of the thing is partly due to the fault of the debtor. Now, itong number 4, kahit fortuitous event, pero at fault yung debtor, liable pa rin siya. Okay? Example, nakita mo lang bumabagyo, nakita mo lang bumabaha, di ba? Hindi mo pa rin nilipat ng parking yung sasakyan. Kaya mo lang ilipat habang hindi pa bumabaha. Hindi mo nilipat. Inanod tuloy ng baha. So that is the debtor or the obligor is at fault. So liable siya doon. Kahit fortuitous event. Kasi yan exception. Right? Ibig sabihin yan, negligent yung debtor natin or yung obligor. So liable pa rin siya. And number 5, the loss of the thing occurs after the debtor incurred in delay. Yung example natin kanina, di ba, na i-deliver mo sana ngayong araw na to, October 4, pero hindi mo dineliver mo kinabukasan pa, so i-delay ka na. Tapos inanod sa kinabukasan. Okay? So liable ka pa rin. Liable ka pa rin dun sa creditor mo. Kasi although may fortuitous event or acts of nature, kaya lang you are you committed delay, so liable ka pa rin. Okay, so I hope that these exceptions are clear for you all, guys. Okay, and number 6. When the debtor promised to deliver the same things to two persons who do not have the same interest. Ito naman, number 6. Although may fortuitous event, kaya lang, gusto mo maka-isa, want to commit fraud, pinenta mo yung sasakyan sa dalawang tao and nag-promise ka na i-deliver sa dalawang taong magkaiba yung sasakyan. Tapos merong fortuitous event na nangyari. So liable ka pa rin kasi you're not in good faith So parang niloloko mo yung dalawang creditors mo. So hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na nawala. Kasi dalawa ang pinangakuan mo, no? So kahit kasi may fortuitous event, hindi mo talaga ma-deliver yan. Kasi, hindi pwedeng dalawa ang tatanggap or dalawang obligee ng ng yung prestation or yung kotse. So, tandaan nyo ya, pag binagyo, pero nangako si dalawang tao, so liable ka pa rin. And number 8, when the obligation is generic. Okay, let's differentiate pag generic versus determinate thing. Itong mga reasons na to about fortuitous event is only applicable sa mga prestation or object na determinate. So determinate things, ito yung mga very specific. Nag-iisa yan. Pag sinabing plate number 005, kulay pula, Toyota, nag-iisa lang yan. Diba? O isang bahay sa kanto ng Lacson and Loreto Street, nag-iisa lang yan, no? So, yung mga determinate things. Alright? So, pag yun ay nasunog, so wala talaga. Ang generic, opposite of determinate things na generic. Ang generic, general eh. Example, ang usapan, magdi-deliver ka ng kotse. Walang sinabing modelo, walang sinabing kulay, basta kotse. Okay? So that's generic. Kasi pwedeng mag-deliver ng kahit anong klase ng kotse. Pag nawala yung isa, yung pwedeng sabihin, ay nawala yung kotse. Okay? Kasi pwede pa mag-deliver ng ibang klase ng kotse. Okay? O magde-deliver ka ng may plans magde-deliver ng ng kalabaw. Wala namang sinabi kung anong specific na kalabaw. So, kahit mawala yung isa, meron ka pa rin ibang kalabaw na i-deliver. So kasi yan? Generic, no? Mga walang pagkakakilanlan, pinag-deliver eh. Nangako ka magbibigay ng 10,000 pesos. Okay. Yung 10,000 pesos na wala, pinaha. Hindi mo pwede sabihin, yung 10,000 na wala eh. Kasi pwede mo pang palitan eh. Pag generic kasi, pwede mo pang palitan. Pag determinate things, hindi na pwede. Kasi nga, specific yung object or yung prestation, di ba? Okay, so let's move on sa next slide natin. Effect of partial loss. General rule, partial loss does not extinguish the obligation. Partial loss of such importance, except kapag partial loss, does not extinguish the obligation. Ibig sabihin, pag yung bagay ay nasira ng konti, ayan, so pwede pa rin i-deliver. Example, sasakyan, di ba? Nabagsakan ng yung bandang huli. Kompleto pa naman, di ba? Kasi partial loss, pag kahit yan, yung pa rin sabihin ay sira na eh. It will not extinguish the obligation. Kasi partial loss na naman eh. Pwede pang i-deliver yan. Okay? Exception. Okay? Pag yung partial loss is of such importance that would be tantamount to a complete loss or destruction. Ngayon, pag yung partial loss kasi ay talagang napaka-grave, napaka-grabe, na talagang hindi mo na pwedeng i-deliver yung prestation, that is extinguishment of obligation talaga. Example, sasakyan. Diba? Talagang totally damaged siya. Okay? So, at 42 yan. So, hindi na pwedeng i-deliver. Kasi wala na eh. Hindi mo papakinabangan. Pero pag lang naman, tanggal na naman isang gulong, partial loss, yung pwedeng sabihin, extinguish ang obligation, tuloy pa rin. Pero pag talagang very grave yung loss ng prestation or ng object, so it will be tantamount to complete extinguishment ng obligation. Okay? Tayo sa kabilang effect. Ipiyok na ako Pinata na ako Effect of impossibility of performance and obligation to do. Article 1266. Maybe guys, you are wondering ba't may mga nakalagay na Article 1266 na? Kasi nga, ang obligation na sinishare ko sa inyo ngayon, obligation ng contract is a law. Batas yan. No? Sa mga batas, mayroong mga article. So, kaya mayroon ng Article 1266. Okay, when the obligation becomes legally or physically impossible without the fault of the debtor or obligor, without the fault of the debtor, obligor is released from the obligation. So, gusto ko lang i-reiterate. Pag sinabing debtor, it is also the obligor. Pag sinabing creditor, that is the obligee. No? So, pag ang debtor, obligor, sila yung gagawa ng performance. Sila yung magbabayad. No? Pag sinabing creditor, obligee, sila yung tatanggap ng performance or tatanggap ng bayad. So, when the obligation becomes legally or physically impossible without the fault of the debtor, obligor is released from the obligation. So the legal and physical impossibility must have occurred when the constitution, after the constitution of the obligation. Kasi mayroong mga obligation talagang very impossible na to perform. Example, obligation to do. Talagang, example, mayroon kang obligation to fulfill a promise, magpapaaral sa sa anak, pag ka na ng kontrata, nawalan ka ng trabaho, no? Or you became disabled, you became physically incapacitated. At hindi mo na pwedeng ma-perform yung obligation mo. In that case, obligor is released from the obligation. Release of obligation to do when prestation becomes legally or physically impossible. So, dalawang klase yung kailan magiging impossible to perform. Pwede siyang pinagbawalan ng batas or legally or physically impossible. Example, mayroon kayong usapang magde-deliver ng sabihin natin yung mga gamot na meron kang obligation to deliver, to sell a medicine na pang-enhance ang performance ng isang athlete, ng isang tao. Okay? I-deliver mo yan sa December. Today is October, di ba? And the presentation of the object will be delivered in December. 2 buwan pa. I-deliver mo yung gamot na pang-enhance ang performance ng isang tao, ng isang athlete. Example, mental, pampa-enhance ang mental capacity, mental performance, pampa-enhance ang intelligence. To be delivered on December 2024. Okay? But suddenly, nagkaroon ng batas, na yung drugs or medicine na yun is now cannot be sold legally. Ayan. No? Parang pinagbawal na, biglaan. May batas, no? Biglang pinagbawal yung pagbenta, purchase ng ganung mga medicine or drugs. So, it is now becomes legally impossible to perform the prestation. So, you will now be released from obligation. Or yun nga sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Meron kang gagawing bahay, nagkasundo kayo. Bigla kang na disabled, nalaglag ka sa hagdan. At di ka na makalakad ngayon. So you are now physically impossible to perform. So you are now released from obligation to do the prestation. Yung mga mga case na you can be released, no? Okay. So temporary impossibility. Effect of relative impossibility. When the service has become so difficult as to be manifestly beyond the contemplation of the parties, the court should be authorized to release. Okay, wait. Okay. The court should be authorized to release the obligor in whole or in part is also referred to as the doctrine of prostration of enterprise effect of relative impossibility. So once again, yung mga things that will make impossible to perform yung mga obligation mo, mga pwede siyang natural disasters like earthquake, floods, hurricane. It can make the performance impossible. Wala ka nang magagawa dyan eh. O pwede namang ano yan, pwede bang death of a party. Na? Pag ikaw ay talagang nawala, okay, that is now talaga possible, or you become sick, you become physically incapacitated to perform the obligation. So you should now be released for death or incapacity or natural disasters like floods, hurricanes, or change in law. Nagkaroon ng bagong batas na pinagbabawal yung pagbenta ng napagkasundo niyang prestation or object din sa biglaan, or distraction of subject matter. Nasira yung inyong mga prestation or yung bahay, nasira siya. So talagang you should now be released from the obligation. And requisite. The event or change of circumstances could not have been foreseen at the time of the execution. Kailan sa masabing mga requisite, paano sabing you shall now be released from the obligation? Pag hindi mo alam, pag hindi na foreseen at the time of the execution of the contract, biglang nangyari, hindi mo alam. So that is a requisite for you to be released from the obligation. Pag hindi mo alam for example, yung bagyo, hindi mo talaga malalaman, di ba? O yung hurricane, or earthquake, hindi mo sa malalaman talaga eh. Pero pag yung circumstances can be foreseen, pag alam mo mangyayari, tapos tinuloy mo pa rin, hindi ka exempted from extinguishment of your obligation. Okay? Di ba, merong sa gilid ng bahay, merong parang bundok or hill or mga boulders. Alam mong anytime ay pag-landslide yan eh. Wala kang ginawang paraan. Or tinuloy mo pa rin yung kontrata. Kahit alam mong mayroong mangyayari. Yan ay mga sample ng events that can be foreseen. Nakikita mo mangyayari at tinuloy mo pa rin. Tapos nasira yung object because of that situation. Hindi exempted sa obligation. Liable ka pa rin. Pero pag yung unforeseen circumstances, hindi mo alam talaga at bigla kang nangyari, that is the time that you are now released from the obligation. O number 2 requisite, paano ka ma-release from obligation? Makes the performance extremely difficult. Talagang imposible na gawin mo. So release ka sa obligation. Pag nawala naman talaga yung object or yung prestation, wala kang magagawa diyan. Okay? Example meron kang meron kang kontratang ikaw mag-shoulder. Wala ka ng trabaho ngayon. So it is now difficult for you. Number 3 requisite, the event must not be due to the act of any of the parties. Ngayon, pag yung event na nag-cause ng distraction ng prestation is the act ng isang party. So, hindi ka pa rin release sa obligation. Right? Kung sasakyan, di ba? Ididili mo sa sasakyan. Bukas, idinrive mo siya sa baha. Tapos nasira siya. Okay? So that is the act of any of the parties. Wala kang ginawang due diligence. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin kasi baha. Alam mo ba, ginamit mo pa rin, di ba? So, ibig sabihin yan, the act of one of the party, the act of the obligor, he is not in good faith. He did not perform due diligence. So liable pa rin siya. Na-deliver yung or sa damages. Ito sample ng ng obligation between the telco and the kasureco. The telco is the obligor, kasureco is the obligee, no? The telco yung magpe-perform or magdi-deliver ng prestation. Yung kasureco ang receiver ng performance. Ang usapan, 10 telephone lines for kasureco. So, ibig sabihin, yung na telco promise to deliver 10 telephone lines. Then after 10 years, may nangyari. Kasureco filed reformation because contract was one-sided. More lines attached, heavier load for post and post not in city also used. So ito, the telco will be released from the obligation. Kasi hindi na usapan, iba na usapan eh. Nagdagdag ang prestation yung kasureco. Hindi naman yung usapan nila. Diba? Heavier load for post eh. Ang prestation na iba na because of the act of the obligee. Ito yung sinasabi natin na ma-release yung obligor because of one action to the party, which is the obligee. Ikaw ba naman, di ba? Ikaw ba itutuloy mo pa rin? Ang pinag-usapan natin, ganito lang eh. Bakit nagdagdag ka? More lines attached, heavier load. So, it is not impossible for the obligor to perform. Kasi iba ng prestation eh. Right? Sa anong remedy dyan? Obligation is extinguished. Yung obligation ng telco will now be extinguished. Ang gagawin nila, para matuloy pa rin, they will now have to require to revise the contract. Okay? So, ang Supreme Court, they required both parties to have the draft a new contract in order not to disrupt the basic and essential services of parties. Kasi telephone lines to talagang needed by the public para matuloy lang. Although extinguish ang obligation ng telco, the advice is for both parties to draft or to write in your contract, in your kontrata. Okay. Para matuloy yung basic service at hindi magsasuffer yung general public. Effect of loss on reciprocal obligation. Pag sa may reciprocal, pareho silang merong obligation, di ba? Kasi di ba may obligation na unilateral, isa lang yung magpe-perform. Reciprocal, pareho silang may obligation to perform. First view, if for a while, if an obligation is extinguished by the loss of the thing, fortuitous events, the counter prestation is also extinguished. He who gives nothing has no reason demand. Usapan ganito, pag-deliver ng kotse sa'yo. Tapos ikaw, meron ka ring obligation to pay me. Okay, na, pag nawala yung kotse kasi binaha, at in good faith naman, talagang walang bad faith. Parehong in good faith. Yung kotse na wala. Kahit anong gawin, talagang wala na yung kotse, binaha. 427 yan. Diba? So the obligation to deliver is now extinguished. Since na reciprocal, yung kanya obligation to pay me is also extinguished. Kasi hindi ka pwedeng mag-demand nang wala kang binigay. Okay? He who gives nothing, you don't have a reason to demand something. Pag wala kang deliver, huwag kang mag-demand. Di ba extinguish na nga yung ating prestation, binaha yung ating sasakyan? Extinguish na. Wala kang karapatang basta ng bayad mo. Hey, so hindi pwedeng ganun. Kasi reciprocal yan eh. Pag sinabi ko yung unilateral eh, hindi pwede rin. Okay, so let's move to the next one. second view, if the loss or impossibility was due to a fortuitous event, the other party is still obliged to give the prestation due to the other person. Ito na yung condonation or remission of debt. Sa second view natin, although nawala yung kotse because of prestation event, the other party is still obliged to give the prestation due to the others. Okay? Pag nagkasundo silang although meron akong obligation to pay, nawala yung kotse, binaha. Okay? O pwede namang i-donate ko na lang yung pera ko Di ba sa'yo? So, pwedeng gano'n na. Ito yung mga pwedeng i-condone. So, by the way, yung ating next na di ba, we are done with extinguishment of obligation due to the loss of things. Itong pangatlo naman, reason to extinguish the obligation, condonation or remission of the debt or utang. So an act of liberality renounces the enforcement of the obligation as a result. As a result, pag merong renouncement or remission or condonation ng utang, yung obligor natin will now be released from obligation. Okay? So condonation or remission yung ating pinag-uusapan dito. Okay. Pag sinabing condone, sige, bayaan mo na yung utang mo sa akin. Condonation or remission. Pag sinabi pag I renounce or I condone your liability or debt to me, you are now be extinguished or released from the obligation. Or it is the gratuitous abandonment by the creditor of his right, a form of donation. Sabi ng sige na nga, yung utang mo sa akin, hayaan mo na. Diba? Dati, 5 years ago, may nakasunduan ka mag-provide sa ng 10,000. At after 5 years, sabi mo, sige na nga, huwag mo nang bayaran yung utang. Parang condone na lang or remission tawag natin dyan. Huwag mo nang bayaran, sige, okay na. That is a form of donation. So, pag ginawa yun nung creditor mo, you will now be automatically released from obligation. Kinondone niya na O yung kotse, di ba, nag-deliver. Sige, deliver yung kotse sa akin. Sabi niya, sige, wag na. Yung creditor mismo ang nag-renounce ng kanyang right to collect. So that is a form of donation. In that case, the obligation is now extinguished. Pero meron tayong mga requisite. Kailan tayo masasabing valid ang remission. So the requisite of remission or condonation of obligation refers to the voluntary renouncement, voluntary relinquish ng right to collect ng isang creditor or obligee. Meron tayong mga requisite or requirement para ma-fulfill yung ating condonation or remission of debt. So unang-una, merong existing valid obligation talaga. Kasi pag wala mong valid obligation, wala ka nang i-renounce, Dahil merong yung pinag-usapan talaga na legally binding both parties. Nagkasundo kayo 5 years ago, magde-deliver ngayong taon ng 1 million pesos. Pero sabi mo, sige, okay na. Donate ko na lang sa'yo. Kahit may kontrata. Okay? So, a valid obligation. Kasi merong remission. Ang pangalawa, that is a free will of the creditor. Free will. Sa mismo yung voluntary nagsabi. Walang tumakot sa kanya. Walang nag-intimidate sa kanya. Talagang free will or voluntary renouncement ng debt na nangyari. So, pwede magkaroon ng remission. Free will na, ibig sabihin, pag may tumutok sa kanyang baril na i-donate na lang, hindi pwede. Kasi mayroong intimidation na nangyari. So walang remission pag gano'n. Dapat free will Okay, yung next requisite, mayroong acceptance ng debtor. Although dinonate na nung creditor yung pera, dapat i-accept pa rin ng debtor. O sige, tinatanggap ko yung renouncement, tinatanggap yung donation para magkatotoo yung yung remission na nangyari. So meron pa ring requirement pa rin yung acceptance ng debtor. Yung pangapat na requirement, subject matter should be capable of being of remission. That is legally and actually capable of being waived or forgiven. So meron kasi mga frustration na hindi pwedeng i-remission. Example, usapan magdi-deliver ng drugs, no? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, sige, huwag mo na i-deliver yung drugs. Kasi hindi sa the subject matter, the prestation, the drug is not a subject matter, not a legal subject matter of prestation or remission. So hindi pwedeng. Dapat yung prestation na gagamitin is talagang legally capable of being condoned or being donated. Yung next requirement sa remission, that may formalities. May kasunduan, may kasulatan, di ba? Mamaya dinonate sa'yo. Walang kasulatan. Di ba? So dapat maging formal. O sige, pahig sabi ng debtor ng obligor, sige, pahig ako yung sa donation mo. Gawin natin kasulatan para meron tayong formality. So meron kang proof na condoned or donated yung prestation. Talaga ikaw is now released from the obligation. Okay? Ang remission, pwede siyang total, pwede siyang partial. Pwede yung buong prestation ng i-donate or i-condone ng creditor mo. O pwede namang partial. Kalahati lang. Diba? Example, may ang usapan, dalawang apartment na ibabayad sa'yo. Sabi mo, sige, yung isang apartment lang ibayad mo sa akin. Yung isa, donated ko na lang sa'yo. So partial, partial, kasi capable of being divided di ba? So partial remission or donation ang nangyari dyan. Okay, so ang remission dapat ay express or sinasabi talaga sa iyo na dapat yan ay condoned or donated. So dapat gratuitous. Pag sabing gratuitous walang halong intimidation. Yan, may remission pa ganun. Accepted by the obligor. It's important, kahit gusto ng creditor na i-condone or i-donate na lang, important pa rin na i-accept formally ng obligor yung donation or condonation. So parang nagkasundo kayo dating magkontrata, di ba? Nagbintahan kayo dati, may kontrata, formal. Ngayon, pag may condonation, dapat formal din. At meron ding kontratang pipirmahan. Number 3, the obligation must be demandable. Yun talagang due na talaga yung performance, then you condoned or you donated. Parties must have the capacity. Pareho silang capable of condoning or donating. So hindi pwedeng minor. Hindi pwedeng sabihin, sabi ng anak mo donated na raw. Wala yung capacity ng minor magsabi ng ganun do. Dapat meron siyang capacity. Or not in officious. Pag sinabing in officious, you are depriving someone of yung pamana. Tawag sa pamana, yung pinamana ka ng bahay, yan. Pag pinagbawalan mo yung isa, na pamanahan ng bahay, in officious ang tawag natin doon. Okay? So, ang nangyari sa number 5, ganito. Ikaw yung magdi-deliver ng bahay. Sabi mo, sige, sa 2027, itong bahay na to, ito yung babayad ko sa'yo. Okay? Then, pagdating nung 2027, sabi nung creditor mo, o sige, wag mo nang bayaran. Wag mo na akong bayaran. Diyan. Okay? Pag binaliktad natin, example, yung creditor ay yung isang lupa, dalawang may-ari. Pinamana sa kanila, yung lupa, buong lupa, pinamana sa kanilang dalawa. So, dalawa yung may-ari ng lupa. Okay? Pag dalawang lupa, hindi mo pwedeng i-donate or i-condone yung lupa kasi dalawa ko yung may-ari. So, bawal yan. That is an officious. Dapat, ikaw lang talaga may-ari ng lupa. Para masabi mong, sige, dinodonate ko na to sa'yo. Ayan. Pero pag dalawa ko may-ari ng lupa, magkakaproblema kayo dyan. So, hindi pwedeng i-condone or remission. Okay, number 6, must comply with the forms of donation. Ang donation or remission, sabi natin, express, di ba? Dapat nakasulat, dapat sinabi, dapat may kontrata. Express, remission, or condonation, or donation ang tawag natin dyan. Pero mga condonation na implied remission. So, pag sinabi implied, hindi express. Opposite ng express, implied. Diba? So, kaya natin masasabing implied ng isang remission or condonation or donation. Number 1, if the creditor returns the promissory note. Sabi, diba? Ito, diba ako yung ay utang dun sa tao. Nagsulat akong promissory note dun sa tao. Binigay ko promissory note, binigay ko sa kanya promissory note. So, hawak ng creditor yung promissory note ko. Nakalagay sa promissory note, after 1 month, babayaran kita. Promissory note yun, hawak-hawak niya. Yung due date na, yung promissory note, binalik niya sa akin. Sabi niya, sige, okay na yan. Ito na yung promissory note mo. So that is an example of implied condonation of debt or donation. Although wala sang sinabing donated na, the mere fact na binalik niya yung document or debt instrument like promissory note symbolizing the debt, binalik niya sa akin. It can be often interpreted as an intent to release the obligation. Meron sa intention to release the obligation. Kasi binalik niya yung promissory. Ito na promissory note mo. That is implied obligation. Implied. If the creditor shows prolonged indifference or refusal to take actions to collect the debt, it can be understood. Pwede ba tayo, no? Yung pinag-uutangan mo, hirap na hirap. Gusto mo na siyang bayaran, kaya lang, hindi siya makita. Palaging umiiwas. Ang galing, no? Balik na din, no? Magbabayad ka na, buong bayad na, example, 1 million pesos babayad mo sa kanya. Kaya hirap na hirap ko siyang hanapin. Nagpapakipot, nagtatago, yung kakausapin. So, prolonged indifference or refusal on the part of the creditor ang tawag natin dyan. So, pag naisip mo, siguro ano to, ay natanggapin yung bayad ko, ay makipag-usap sa akin, 1 taon na, pinapahirapan akong tanggapin yung bayad ko sa kanya. So that is implied obligation. Ayan. Okay? So yun ang ating mga types of ito, implied obligation, no? Delivery of private document evidencing a credit made voluntarily by creditor to debtor. Ayan. Isinahuli yung document or promissory note na evidence ng utang ko sa kanya. O ito na yung yung promissory note mo. Ayan. So implied remission, implied condonation of debt. So you are now released or extinguished ang obligation. Okay guys, so far yun ang ating mga ways how to extinguish obligation by payment, by performance, loss of the things due pag nawala yung prestation, condonation or remission of debt. Now, for the next succeeding mga lesson, we're going to continue iba pang types of extinguishing yung mga obligation ninyo sa mga creditors. Right? Hanggang dito lang muna and This has been Dr. Cortez signing off, and see you again sa ating mga next na lessons, guys. Bye, everyone.